What's good, everyone? So finished up the trading day about 2-3 hours ago. But just gonna do a little recap on the day. Definitely a much better day than yesterday for sure. So first, let's actually just get rid or hide that chart trader thing. So I just wanted to show you that at market open, you can see that we kind of bounce off this area that I kind of had drawn out, which is just simply from this low volume profile node right here, and you can see that price kind of came into it 2 times and just kind of bounced off of it. So that was kind of my important level, like a nice little demand zone level that I had drawn out. And this big candle right here at 5:30, it was just from the, I think, PCI or PPI or something like that, some data that was released. So there was a lot of inefficiency left here, and you can see price was respecting this inefficiency. So it just kind of bounced up to the upside. So I kept that in mind. So I wasn't really looking to go short into this area, especially learning from yesterday. So the first opportunity I saw was just the retracement area on the 144. Let's see. So I saw opportunity on the 144 off of this blue candle right here. Just simply going back into that retracement zone. And you can see that we finally touch it here. We get that low that we're always looking for, and we have that swing high that we're looking for. Oops, it's not straight. There we go. There we go. So we have that low and this low and this high up here. Now we just look for that tiny high, tiny low. We get that right here, but I did not take an entry, as you can see, because I was kind of just waiting for price to close above this red candle, which we did not get at all, and price ended up reversing. So it's a good thing I didn't take that entry, but even if I did take that entry, my stop loss would have been down here. I would have got stopped out for about like 10 to 12-ish points, which is honestly nothing too bad. It's pretty much what I am looking for on my trades. So it would have been like about a 1-to-1. But I think I've also noticed that once this setup kind of occurs, if the model fails, I can definitely go short kind of fairly quickly, instead of just waiting for another opportunity or waiting for the 144 candle to close. But yeah, so that was the first opportunity that I saw, but then another thing kind of happened, and I saw that, we did end up breaking this low right here, and that means we have this new low and we have this new high. So with that being said, we still look, since we're still inside that retracement area on the 144, we look for that tiny high and that tiny low to occur, and we get that right here and right here. So I just kind of draw my zone out, and this was literally like, I don't know, 10 seconds before data was released at 6:45. And price just moved fairly quickly. As you can see, price did end up moving up a little bit, but it was just way too quick. You can see that with each of these candle bars, you don't really see like a volume profile like how you do with these bars over here, for example. It might be a little hard to see, but there's pretty much no volume. So that means it was all momentum from the data that was released. But if there wasn't any data being released, then I probably would have entered on this candle right here at 25,510, stop just below here, so about 12 points again. And we would have been able to hit our 10-point profit pretty easily, but since price moved fairly quickly, I was obviously not able to enter in that. So I was just waiting. Then I saw another opportunity here for longs. It was kind of based off like the data though, so it's a little sus. But what I pretty much saw is that we're retracing back into this 144 region. So pretty much this candle bar that closed with the 0.95 on the bottom. So it's telling me that it's looking pretty bullish, I would say. So we just wait for that retracement back into the 50% level. And you can see that first we get that retracement here, but we end up having like kind of equal lows. This low right here, just give me 1 sec. This low is at 500.25 and this low is at 500.25. So we have equal lows. So I was looking to see if there was, you know, a somewhat of a setup and everything. And you can see that there is. We do get that setup here. We have this low equal to the previous low. We have this high. Then we get tiny high, tiny low, same thing. Wait for a retracement back into this zone. And then enter pretty much here. I could have entered at 25.520.5. And then I would have moved my stop loss to break even for sure. But at this point, I was waiting for price to pretty much close above here. I wanted price to close up there, just to make sure, like, since I had a little bit of a rough day yesterday, I wanted to make sure that, you know, price was actually moving in that direction and didn't want to take any chances. So didn't take an entry there. You know, it's good that we didn't, I guess. But as soon as I see like we can't break above that high, this high right here, and we close below this low, I definitely could have gone in for shorts, but I just didn't. But if I did go into shorts, you know, I probably would have entered in here, and then my stop would have been like above here, which is a little bit bigger. It's about close to 25 points. It's a little bit bigger. But if I did, you know, still would have gotten that TP hit. I am curious though to see if we are able to retrace back into this area. Yeah, so even if I could have just waited as well for retracing back into that zone and see if we kind of rejected. And you can see we do reject that zone. This black line is just the low of that zone that we were looking at. And you can see it goes down fairly nice, definitely to a 1-to-1, which is nice. So moving on, that's what we saw so far. This is like the first 20 minutes of market open, and then we do move down a little bit, but we kind of have a little bit of a bounce around a volume profile. I think it was like a high volume profile node, or relatively large. But if we look at the 144, you can see that we have this reversal candle from the negative delta and up close. And also we can see that it touched a previous point of control, 144 candle that has fairly positive and bullish delta and order flow. And also this point of control is not able to go below this point of control. So, you know, I was thinking, all right, you know, if I see an opportunity, it could definitely be decent for longs. So that's exactly what I saw. Same thing. Wait for that retracement back into the 50% level. We have that high. We have this low. We have tiny high and we have that tiny low. So I just kind of wait for a bounce. And I did enter a little prematurely from the smaller time frame, but we were able to enter here and secure a profit up here. So this was the first trade we took, and it was maybe like I exited like maybe 5 seconds before there was more data being released, which is all this. It didn't really move too much, but you know, still got to be a little cautious when data is being released. So definitely could have waited for a little bit of a retracement back into here and wait for a close above this candle high. And if I did, you know, I would have entered right here, or honestly I could have entered here at say 19 and then probably would have got stopped at a break even depending on my fill. But I just entered a little early and I felt good about it. So that was the first trade that we took. Oops, remove. So the next trade we took, this is a little kind of confusing looking, I would say. So this cyan color, the brighter blue, it's based off the 89R, and this darker blue is based off the 34R. So I'm gonna go based off the 34R real quick. So I just removed that. And what I saw here was a potential long. So if we go into this candle, the one with the 1.00 here, it's looking a little bullish, I would say, but the thing is it's at like the day's high and also like all-time high, I'm pretty sure. So it's a little sus to enter, but you know, same thing. We have that high, the swing high, we have the swing low, we have the tiny high and the tiny low here. We are able to close outside, and I did enter a little prematurely again on the 21R, but we were able to get that close on the 34R, so I felt fine until, you know, we had these falling to down close candles. And typically my stop loss would be somewhere down here. I would say typically it'd be down here at that 515, but I think I'm trying to minimize my risk more, especially after yesterday. So you can see that I was able to close here at like, I think it says at 26.5. So I was able to close here, which is about 10 points more or 10 points higher than I usually would have. So I like saved 10 points, if that makes any sense. So instead of risking like 20 points, I only risked like maybe 10 points, for example. So risk reward on that, definitely much better for sure. And the reason why I closed was because we just closed under this entry candle. So since we closed it below that entry candle, I pretty much figured that we were going to be going to the downside more. And you can see this is where I closed my position, and then I entered in short down here, because I did realize a little bit too late, maybe not a little too late, but a little bit later than what I may have preferred, that, you know, we closed below this low. And what I should have done is definitely just wait for this area to be tested and enter on this candle, stop above the high. But it's fairly close to where I kind of entered originally from here. I probably would just entered here, so it's like maybe 2 point different maybe. And the stops would have been above here, so it would have been like about a 15-point stop loss, give or take. But you can see I was definitely aiming for about 20 points. And you can see I was able to secure my profit there, which is good. And a little bit lower, once price gets down to over here, is when the 89R actually closes. And on the 89R, we can see that right here is where currently where we're at. We can see that my model kind of occurs at the all-time highs. So we have that swing high, that swing low, then we get that tiny high here, and we have the tiny low formed here. So I just drag that out and wait for price to kind of retrace into there. But you can see on this red candle, price does not retrace back into this zone. We have to wait till over here. So, you know, I was fairly bearish, I would say, for that time being. But I was not able to take any entry or anything because, you know, I was just kind of looking at it. I didn't really need to, I would say. But in terms of like profits on my accounts, I was already, after this trade, I was in profit on my my take profit accounts, and I was kind of around break even on my my funded futures account, and on my funded futures account is the account where we had a little bit of an oopsies yesterday. So all I needed was like about $100, but I did not want to trade any minis on my funded future. I wanted to just be sure and be cautious, so I just was trading 5 contracts on the micro, so pretty much half of the mini. And all I needed was like, you know, one solid trade to get at least 100 points, or not 100 points, $100, because we need that $100 in order to get to like the consistency rule, I think it's called. I don't remember what it is, but it's like you need, in order to get like a payout or something, it has to be a minimum of $100. So I was just looking for that $100 trade. Around this time, I was definitely at break even. But then I saw another opportunity on the 55, and on the 55, we can see that we are kind of pulling away from this 89R zone, and we do retrace back into it, but that's after. Right now we're kind of currently down here, and we retrace into the 233 zone, into the 50% level on the 233 zone. I will show you right here. Where is it? Right here. We retrace into this 250 or 233 zone right here. So since we retrace into there, I'm looking for my setup, obviously. We get that tiny high, we get that tiny low, then we have that swing high and the swing low here. Let me draw it out. We have that tiny high and we have that tiny low here. So pretty much just wait for confirmation and you can enter. But I did enter a little bit prematurely because 34 was able to close out, and then we did have a little bit of a bounce. So you can see I did enter here, but then I just wasn't liking this particular reversal pattern that I see typically. So I kind of just closed out my position right there. Definitely could have held on to it and I wouldn't have taken that L, but I re-entered my position once I saw we had an up close candle here. I re-entered my position, stop loss was below, and you can see that I was able to secure my profit up here for about, what is that, close to 20 points. And then I did re-enter a position again, because that is when on the 55 we kind of close above this down close candle. So since we closed above there, I re-entered the position with my stop loss below this low. That's like about 30 points risking, and I just re-entered my position. I just took some quick profits because I just wanted my quick profit. It was a profit of what, like maybe 7 points. I was looking for about 3 more points, but it was kind of starting to be a little slow in this area. So I was like, all right, you know what, I'm going to secure my profit. I'd rather just have my profit instead of it hitting break even. But you can see that I do enter one more position here. And I did not realize at the time we were inside this 89R, so I should have been a little bit more cautious about entering long, but I did enter a long position here because on my MyFinite Futures account, I just needed $20 more to be above that $100 profit. So I just took a very quick scalp, just literally 1.25 points. Look, my enter at 32 and I was able to exit at 33.25. So it's just very quick scalp. And then you can see the price just goes down from this 89R level. Definitely should have been aware of this 89 zone, but I was not. And yeah, those are the only trades I took for today. You know, there's definitely more opportunities later on, but like over here, this is where we were talking about. It's around 740, 730. And then, you know, there's another opportunity at almost 9 right here where, you know, I probably would have entered right there and exited somewhere around here. Stop would have been down here. So like, you know, there's definitely more entries. But those are just the ones that I took for today because you don't really need to be staring at the charts for too long. But yeah, with that being said, just stay true to your model and you should be good, honestly. Peace.